All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Symbaroum tonight, and we have a full crew. Everyone's back. Everyone's here, the full five. We got our fives together. We'll see if we still have five by the end of the night. As we left off, a very interesting situation, and we'll see what's up. We'll check in with Tolia, who has been eating like all the mushrooms, and so probably is seeing things and has a very bad like stomach ache or something like that. So like just -4 to all your rolls, and we'll go from there. Before we do intros, quick little announcement. We got a giveaway running over on our Discord, which I think Melissa should be dropping right about now. And if you're listening to this or watching this later, check the description and you can see a link to our Discord. We are giving away some fun stuff from our good friends at Norse Foundry. So dice and dice related accessories. If you head over to our Discord, go into the giveaways channel, drop a little note about a setting that you find interesting. It could be one you play in, it could be one that you play a video game in, it could be one you've read, it could be one you made up yourself. It doesn't really matter. Just a cool setting. And you get entered into this contest. And sometime next week, I think we're going to do it on our Alien stream on Monday. We're going to draw a winner, and you're going to get some cool stuff. And we'll go from there. All right? So, with that being said, why don't we do a quick introduction of characters, and then we'll dive back in. We will start with the grand return of Atolia. Kipser, tell us who you're playing.
Hello, I'm back from Scotland. G'day, and I'm Atolia. I like a little bit of magic and a little bit of herbology, and right now I appear to be sniffing up the mushrooms. Who knows why that happened? But you know, you do what you got to do when you're away for 2 weeks.
That's true. We used to have an old tradition in our home game where whenever a person had a miss, they were just eating a turkey leg the whole time. So anytime you went to go turn to them, they would just be eating a turkey leg. So we just turned it to mushrooms for you because it felt more apropos.
Oh, well, I guess I'm currently seeing a few of these purple hippos flying around. It's kind of nice. Could be worse.
There you go.
Not taking damage for a bit.
Tiny bit of corruption, I think, but that's about it. Yeah, that's fine. You'll be all right. You're going to be fine.
Oh, great.
Live forever.
Next up, Long, who is going to be joining us? He came here and he's sticking around. He's crashing on the couch and now he won't leave. So Long, tell us about your character, man.
Yeah, I'm playing Jinzo, an Ambrian duelist. A dream of mine is to explore outside of Thistlehole's walls, see the ocean, but my father won't let me pass these gates.
Okay, perfect. I'm very excited to get back to the actual town, and so we can see if Jinzo survives, of course. So we can see a little bit more about Jinzo. As Long gave me a little hints here and there. Could be very interesting. Next up, Aaron, tell us about Madjac.
Yeah, Madjac Maekar. Picked up by the elves as a kid after my father turned into an abomination and tore my mother's guts out. They raised me in the woods in the dark of Ar. Thought I'd be an iron sworn, but you know what? Those pointy-eared bastards got under my skin, so I betrayed them and headed back to Thistlehold, where I am a mercenary monster hunter and one of the best there is with a bow, or at least that's what I'm saying, because that's what gets me paid.
It's true. And you speak it into existence, just speak it into existence and you'll get there eventually. You'll get there eventually.
Or die trying.
Or die trying, which is fun too. Speaking of dying trying, Rowena nearly died last time. So Melissa, tell us about Rowena.
So she is a scholar. She's a member of Ordo Magica. She is working on being an artifact crafter at some point. She kind of does some of the ritual stuff and knows some symbolism stuff and conks people over the head with her quarterstaff when needed. And she carries lots and lots of books.
Fantastic. Do you have a lot of books with you right now? Did you bring a lot of books down on this subterranean cavern exploration?
I mean, why would she go anywhere without her books? You never know when you're going to need to look something up.
Well, it's very damp, very moist down here. I wasn't sure if you would want to bring them. It's not a very good climate for books. So
I'm sure she's gotten yelled at by Master Euphrinda more than once on a variety of things, and that's probably one of them.
It's okay. They all got pulled into a pool last week anyway, so,
That is true. They're probably all destroyed and soaking wet. Thank you, Jeremy. I didn't even think about that, and now I do. All right, let me get a little note for
I
myself.
left them all at home. I left them all at home.
It's funny when it hurts somebody else.
It's true.
I did watch enough to know how many ones you rolled, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, the damage rolls last week or the week
Oh my
before.
god,
were
yeah.
just terrible.
So many
Absolute
ones on
crap.
D10s. It happened to Matt.
Absolute
Like, it happened to
crap.
everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the
So many
last two
ones.
fights, really, because it was the cave race and the Virans, like it was just rough. It was rough.
That's all
But
right.
hey, everyone's alive. Nothing to complain about. And finally, Jeremy, tell us about Gwydion.
Gwydion is a translator of great renown and a barbarian diplomat. He's been pulling his punches because he knows how much Ruina likes to kill steal. It's all by design, naturally. He goes by Iron Eye because he's missing an eye, which, plays into the fact that he fails every attempt to notice something happening. But, he's hard to kill. And that's worth something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, then. Let's dive in. So last time around, we were still in the caverns beneath Thistlehold. You've been sent down here to just sort of assess the danger, try to figure out do these caverns still pose a danger to Thistlehold? Is effectively what you're doing. You had a cave ray ambush that nearly resulted in Rowena's death, but Gwydion and Jinzo dove into this hot spring, helped get her out of there. The party followed this natural tunnel that you discovered. You came into contact with this like whirling cloud of particulate corruption that got a few of you as you tried to sneak past it. You found a kind of partially masoned wall that you were able to tear down, which led into a storeroom that looked to have and some alcoves, some like living alcoves for what we're calling the Beast Clan. And it seemed fairly clear to you all that whoever had been living here, they fled relatively hastily, and not that long ago. You found some tattered garments, some pieces of pottery, and a lot of it bore the faded symbol of a bull's head kind of crashing the earth a bit. And it's a symbol that Gwydion, you are able to recognize as commonly being associated with the Jazora clan, which was destroyed about 11 years ago. So it was during the Ambrian year 10 by the Ambrians, as they went to this really horrific war, and it eventually kind of slaughtered, and their chief was executed in Triumph Square, and so kind of hung. And that was basically it. They were all gone. So you started to continue exploring a bit. Jinzo, I think you foiled a trap that there were these needles that were shooting out of, and you also found an intentional cave-in that seemed to kind of collapse the exit, just breaking any path that you can potentially follow these people. And then in a shallow stream in a pool, you found these small pieces of bone or teeth into which had been carved these old Symbaroum lettering. And eventually, you found a massive cavern in this underground lake. There was this, you think, a peninsula. It's very, very dark in here, so you really can't see a whole lot. But the lantern light does reflect a little bit, enough to see like a little peninsula, and maybe somewhere deep in the center of the lake, this barely visible island. And then echoing throughout the cavern was this soft, scratchy voice that was singing, and only Madjac and Gwydion really noticed it. And Gwydion, being the only one here who is of barbarian heritage, recognized the tongue and was basically able to translate the verses. So if you've forgotten, let me see if I have it here. So the song was fathers, mothers, young and old, left us in the dark and cold, running, fighting life ahead. Here I stay among the dead, silent, frozen, never dry, alone to sing and to cry. And we're going to pick up basically right there as you guys are on the shore, so to speak, of this massive lake. It is extremely dark in this entire cavern. The light that you do have out does kind of flicker off the water in front of you, which isn't in itself fairly dark as well. And you can see it kind of flickering off some distant, you're not sure what they are, structures, like little islet pieces popping up from the water here and there. And as like the melody continues, eventually the rest of you start to kind of hear it vaguely as well. But Gwydion and Madjac, you hear the whole thing, and Gwydion, you know the words, or can translate the words.
I'll share that with everybody. A terrible, like, he can't sing for anything, so it sounds horrible when he does. But so there's probably some horrible waterborne abomination wanting us to drown us in her tears. And
Well, I mean, we found all these fragments and artifacts from the Jazora clan. We know they were wiped out. Is there a chance they left all their kids down here to hide them? And that's what's left? I mean, that sounds like that's what the song is saying.
oh,
Have you guys all seen these bioluminescent mushrooms?
well, the ones that you haven't eaten, yes.
I don't understand what you mean. There's plenty of here that okay, maybe I have half of them.
It's okay.
You're collecting them for us, and we'll look at them closer later.
Oh, is that okay?
But with the singing, is this like a call and response that you could sing back to them up there?
I'm not a skald. I don't know. I don't know like how to do a song reply to this.
Okay, well then you
Or-
should just go talk to them then.
Well, I mean, if it's feral cave children who've been down here for a decade living off of whatever they can scavenge, we might want to go slow and quiet at first. Just a thought.
I like that idea a lot more. It's better than me singing, I promise.
Oh, okay, but you're up front though because you can talk their talk.
Of course.
And she
I'm
sort of
upfront.
takes her quarterstaff and just sort of like poking you in the forward direction.
Of course. I know my role. I get it.
Well, I mean, as long as someone can hold on to my glowy mushrooms, I could probably just disappear and walk up there and take a look before they check for wanting a scout.
Oh yeah, I've got bags, and she'll like go through all of her books and bags and find a spot and just sort of open it for you to throw them
Oh,
in.
excellent. Here, can you, here, let me just take out this book. It's not really needed anyway, right? Oh, here we go. And we'll just put all these mushrooms in here. They're far more important.
And she'll like close it back up so that they're not bioluminescing out of the bag. And so she'll like close it back up, and then she'll like sigh very deeply and like take all of the books out and like figure out a new organizational strategy to put all of the books back again. And then she'll sigh, throw them over her shoulders again, throw the kind of cloak over that, and then stand up.
But yes, can I use unnoticeable, which is resolute against resolute instead of vigilance for being perceived, and I can roll corruption for just to see if I get a D4 of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, go right ahead.
To cast the spell. Roll. All right, 3 corruption, 3 temporary corruption. There we go. And I will be sort of turning invisible unless somebody wants to roll a resolute. And I'm going to sneak ahead to take a look at the singer.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a resolute test. Just give it straight up. There is going to be a modifier on it, but because this is sort of a stealth test, I'm not going to tell you what that modifier is just yet. So just roll your resolute. And let me know the degree.
That is really good. So it's result margin of 7.
Okay. So you start moving across the down this like shoreline a bit to the water, lapping a little bit up here and there, and you do eventually see this peninsula. And this peninsula juts out. It's the only place that seems to jut out from the sides of the cavern itself. And so is that what you're kind of walking out on at that point, or were you actually going to go in the water?
I don't think I would touch the water because my character has been around for some of the ambushes.
Okay, fair enough. So you start walking out to the edge of the peninsula, and first, the closer you get to the edge of it, the more you start to hear the song that Madjac and Gwydion have mentioned, and it becomes more apparent to you. You're still not sure exactly what's being said, but you can kind of hear it. And it cycles around over and over, and you can hear kind of a scratchy old gravelly voice that seems to be occasionally kind of peaking high and then getting low. It's very erratic in some ways. And when you get out there, are you still carrying your lantern, or are you going out there without any lantern?
I would be trying to go out without any light source, without any lanterns.
All right. So then, with no light source, you try to look out towards where you think there was probably some kind of island, but you can't see really anything at all. There's just the very, very faint gleam of maybe a contour or two. But as you're just peering across at it, it's not that far away from the peninsula. Like you just have to wade out a little bit, but you can't really see it. But you are fairly certain that that's where the singing is coming from, that island.
Okay. For now, I will sneak back and tell the rest of the crew.
Okay.
Yeah, it appears that there is a bit of an island out there. Maybe it's hard to see without a light source, but I did get definitely much closer to the singer.
Did you see the singer?
Too far away. They're out in the middle of the water, and I didn't want to risk an ambush without backup. If we can move a bit further forward, maybe I'll sneak up a little bit. I can remain like this until I take an attack, or this metaphorically the scene ends. I don't know what that means, but that's it. Rules.
We'll get closer. We are here to find answers, and this is a thing to find an answer to.
All right, get on out there then.
Okay, here I go. Let's. As long as you guys are not that far behind me, I will go out towards the island.
Distance is all relative down here, but you'll be fine.
Gwydion, I'll be right behind you.
All right.
It'd be fun. I usually don't get to be 10 paces behind somebody else. This is actually a lot of fun for me.
Atolia will head out, hopefully towards the island on the peninsula.
So everyone's following a little bit. You're giving a little bit of distance, and with that, someone should be carrying a light source, I would imagine. And with that, Atolia, from the edge of the peninsula, you can see very much the contours begin to give greater shape. And you notice that the island itself, there are all sorts of these very dark, you would think black crystals, matte. And like they're kind of like they're not very reflective. And so all you can really see is this very subdued reflection. It gives the basic shape of the island, and you can see there are all these massive crystals that are jutting up out of it. You still hear the sounds of the song singing, but you see nowhere that it's originating from. You don't see anybody. But there's all sorts of these little nooks and crannies between some of the spokes of crystals, and you're not really sure if you can see everything. Someone could very easily be hiding behind some of them.
I'll give some time and sort of push back towards Gideon. I don't know if you might want to say hi to them or not, but there's nobody actually that I can see there. It just is the black matte crystals up there.
And Gideon will try to rack his brain. His incredibly artistic-minded, music-oriented brain. And the best he could come up with is probably the equivalent of like some very childlike hide-and-seek type song that the Barbarian clan might have. And do something of that nature. Because he doesn't really know any complicated songs. That's probably all he'll know.
Okay. Sure. Give us a roll just to see how well you perform. We'll call this for lack of a better option, we'll just say persuasive.
Amazing.
There was sarcasm in there, I think.
I'm just because I know that was the skill. I intentionally made that my lowest attribute.
Yeah.
There's no sarcasm. I was just like, because I knew this would be bad when I did
it.
So,
the phrases include stuff like "Don't run or you'll die tired." It's like a very mean-spirited children's lyric.
The good news is that you're kind of speaking in this barbarian dialect as best you can. Like how each of the clans kind of speak their own little version, right? So everything's a little bit different. And some of the clans, the ones that are extremely remote, like far to the north, like they're the hardest sometimes to even understand. Like it almost feels like a completely different language. So the rest of you around you probably aren't too familiar with exactly what he's saying. But you can hear his voice cracks. He's tonally off. Like it sounds really awkward. The pacing of it is a little bit different. You hear once he's done, the singing stop, and there's like a good 5-6 beats, heartbeats or so, and then you just kind of start hearing humming, and the voice is still there, but there's no real language anymore, and just kind of hums. While this is happening, Jinzo and Madjac, both of you give me vigilant tests. Jinzo, you can take a +5 on yours.
Oh, wow.
And this is all while like Atolia is trying to get an eye on things. Gwydion's singing. Verena's wringing out her books, which are soaking wet.
That's a good
Success
start.
with a margin of 6. Oh.
Okay. Madjac, you notice something about the water. Two things. First, you can see that it doesn't have, like, as you're standing next to the shore, a little bit further out in the peninsula, the light's there. It's very dark, but nonetheless, you can tell as you're looking down, it doesn't seem to be as deep as like that deep spring that you found earlier in the cave. And it's nor is it as shallow as that small stream where you found the little bones. It's somewhere in between. But the second thing you do is you notice that once or twice you see something kind of swimming out. It actually looks human. It doesn't swim up to the peninsula, but you see just a very faint shape here or there. None of it really seems to approach you all when you sing, or approach when like it doesn't seem like anything you're doing is affecting it. But you're fairly certain that there's some stuff in the water here and there. Jinzo, something about the lake is giving you vibes. You're feeling a little uneasy about it, but can't quite put your finger on it.
Heads up, we got movement in the lake. Some sort of humanoids. They don't look like they're coming closer, but they could be surrounding us on all sides out on this peninsula.
Marina just sort of pulls out her quarterstaff and just like has it at the ready.
Okay.
Yeah, Madjac's got his bow and an arrow out knocked just in case.
All right. Mm-hmm.
You can always dip your
We're
toe
moving
in
forward.
there with iron eye and see if anything pops out to take a bite.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's take some string and that demon stone and toss it right in. Perfect idea.
Hell of an idea.
I agree. There could be more coins at the bottom. We should toss it in for science.
For science.
For
And
science.
Thaler.
Science and Thaler. I mean, how can you argue with that?
Marina just takes her quarterstaff and just like pokes each of you. Like, and just has a super serious look on her face, like we need to be ready.
I'm ready to support your desire for knowledge.
I'm ready to support my own desire for Thaler.
Mm-hmm.
Marina's
I don't have a
like
good
walking
feeling about
forward.
this.
Okay.
You know, honestly, Gwydion's curiosity will get the better of him, and he'll take one of his crow's beaks and just kind of like skim the surface of the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then just stand back up and wait a second.
Doesn't seem like it affected anything. Doesn't seem like anything rushed over to it. You do see a current, obviously, begins to ripple out. You hear Jinzo behind you saying he's got a bad feeling right as you see the ripples go and coast away from the edge of the peninsula. But nothing seems to like come at you or anything like that.
Actually, you know what? I think the song did work. I think they understand we're here with good intentions. I think we're fine. You heard they started humming. Like they stopped the song. The song was creepy. Didn't like the song. But now they're humming, which means, something changed because they heard us and they understood. And now we're going to be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lead on, my barbarian friend.
Well, I'm not the one who's invisible. I should.
That's a good point. Yeah, where is Atolia? I haven't.
I don't know.
Just keep on moving, Atolia, wherever you're at. Forward.
I definitely am not behind you by a distance.
Get on out there. This was your plan.
Oh no, I'm gonna get myself killed.
That's fine. Do you want if you don't want to
It's-
swim out there, I'll swim out there. It's fine.
Oh well, okay. Well,
I mean, what did you think we can jump that far? I don't think we can jump that far.
Can someone throw me?
I can
Sure.
try.
Like,
and
I want to say at least 20 feet or so between the edge of the peninsula and like the first little edge of the actual island. It's not that far away, but I don't know if you can throw
Let's
her.
give it a shot, Gwyneth. You grab her on the left-hand side. I'll grab her on the right side.
Mhm.
And on three, we toss her.
I have a bedroll. We can wrap her in the bedroll and then throw her,
What?
and so then she'll
No,
will
that
softly
that
land.
actually will not help.
But then she won't be able to swim. We like want to give her like a head start.
Yeah. Shoot for like 15 feet
okay.
out. She'll be fine.
This is gonna be. I can't wait to throw you as hard as I can.
Okay,
It's gonna be completely like lopsided. One side of it's gonna be spinning too far.
I'm not weak. I'm not as strong as you, but I'm not weak.
All right. Well, technically, this will not break my unnoticeable spell, so we can try it.
Yeah.
It's funny when other people are uncomfortable.
Go ahead and-
this is gonna kill me. All right, let's
Go
do
ahead
it.
and roll like a strong +4, Gwydion, since Madjac's helping you.
Okay. Do.
This is gonna be fine.
Modifier 4. Cool. Do. Success margin to 12.
Okay.
So I'll say that you throw her 12 feet, which means
That's
you get
not bad.
her more than halfway. However, when she lands, there is a massive splash that is very much noticeable. And you see as she just dunks into the water. Now, I'll tell you the good news is that as you go to scramble and you put your feet down, you realize it's not actually that deep. It's maybe up to your chest or so. So it's only maybe about somewhere around 5 to 7 feet deep, something like that, depending. So it could be, depending on your height, it could be anywhere between your waist and your chest or so. So you can kind of stand up, but you are dunked, you are drenched in water. Once again, Madjac, I'm going to give it to you since you had the vigilance test. You see some of these things, they're just sort of moving about. You don't really see any of them rush in the direction of Atolia when she splashes into the water, but you do see, again, those sort of strange little human figures here or there moving about.
Madjac screams out, Atolia, swim for your life!
Atolia starts to run towards the island.
He looks up. He looks
Okay.
over at Wayne. He says, "There's nothing near."
So, Attila, you run up towards the island. You scramble up. You feel the water get shallower until eventually you're standing on dry land next to this kind of a jut of crystal. Two things. First, all of the humming stops completely. Second, I need you to roll a resolute test. As you start feeling goosebumps begin to sort of emerge on your arms and the back of your neck, and you feel like this general sense of nausea kind of begin to overtake you, and you can tell
It's
that
okay. I've had enough mushrooms that I've got a margin of 13.
this is definitely a place filled with corruption. And
Don't come over here. None of you come over here.
as you sit there and wait, you see that well, actually, you don't have a lantern, do you?
I would have taken it back, but with the light, I was going to mention it a little bit earlier ago, but I would have taken it back if we were going towards the water and all moving as a group.
I can't tell. You guys are all like kind of fucking around, so I can't tell if like we're being serious and throwing. So I'm taking you at your literal word that you got thrown in the water.
I would have.
Oh, yeah, we
I would
threw
have
her.
had my lantern. They literally threw me. I am
You
now
see
on the
them.
island.
A figure emerge from deeper in the shadows, and you can see there's this crooked, hooded crone, and she's just staring directly at you. You can see your eyes, like her eyes kind of have that weird glow, like almost like singular color. And you hear like the water just drip, drip, drip from your clothes onto the ground itself. And she's got this like very old. She's an older woman. You can tell a look of disdain on her face, like, and her clothes are dark. They're tattered. You can see that there's like these tethers and tears that are hanging. There's blackened bones and these teeth, these silvery scales. And she looks directly at you. And she says, "You leave. You leave. You are not welcome. Not by the living. Not by the dead." And she waits.
I'm yes, happy to leave very shortly. By whom?
You go. This is Beelzebub. You not welcome. Go.
Sorry, can you say that name one more time? It's quite hard to hear through your accent.
She like snarls a bit.
Oh, yep, all right. I'm going into the water again now, and Tolia will turn around and start walking back. Quickly.
Okay. Done.
So, hold on, there we go. That's definitely an island of corruption right there. Those crystals radiating corruption. So if you don't have a very good resistance to it, can't recommend. Also, there's a crazy old lady out there who said that the place was neither for the living nor the dead, but somebody else with a B, I think. Hard to hear.
Okay.
Well, but we've been tasked to come down here and find what's down here. So we
technically found it.
It's true. Totally found it.
But we know nothing. What do we need? We need to know more.
We know the song. We know there's creepy things in the water. We know there's a crone on an island with crystals.
Corruption, full corruption. Like if anybody else had gone over there, probably I would have thought that you would have felt it a little more strongly than I.
Come on, Iron Eye. I told you, you know we're not going to get paid for this garbage information.
I don't think it's garbage information.
We got to get to the bottom of this.
Not for the living, not for this. Is like for the unliving. How
she said, "You leave. You are not welcome. Not by the living, not by the dead."
We're not welcome.
She called herself
by the living,
Bayella.
Oh, Bayella. I thought she was saying her name.
With some of the
Bayella
previous,
is her name.
Does that name mean anything by chance? Especially with some of the other clan information. Okay.
Nah, you wouldn't know that name.
Fair enough.
Well,
okay, no, fine.
curious.
I'll push my luck.
We can also talk to the witches above to see if they know, since we have her name. That might be a better way of getting information. She doesn't seem like a chatty type.
We go back without anything to give them. We're not coming back down here, and we're not getting paid.
There's an old crone living in corruption.
How about this? If the island's corrupted, the water's not that deep. Iron Eye, you speak the lingo. Wade out a little away from the island, but within hailing distance of this old crone, and figure out what the hell she wants.
I can't see how anything could go wrong with that.
It's a damn good plan. Damn good plan.
Living in
I
this
can go with
darkness.
you.
Well, actually, I think Madjac might have the better silver tongue to work with on that one.
Yeah, but I don't speak her language.
No, but you can tell Gwydion what to say.
Sure, I'll go with you.
I'm an
Let's
excellent
do
translator.
it. You and me, let's go.
Yeah.
Jinzo, what were you trying to say?
I was just pushing my stance of eliminating this corruption, whatever it is.
Okay.
All right.
So, what are we doing?
We're gonna take.
Holding a lantern.
If no one pushes forward, then I'll go.
Okay.
Okay.
Jinzo, you wade out into the water, goes up to your stomach or so, your chest. It's not that deep. It's very cold. You can feel the bottom. You climb up onto the shore itself, and you see eventually the face emerge, sneer on her face. And I need you to roll a resolute test as you come on here, Jinzo.
I have a resolute of 9.
Okay.
Failed by 5.
Okay. Roll a d4.
Oh boy.
Roll low.
Oh, it's a 4.
Oh,
You take 4 points of corruption as you
Oh,
feel this rolling sense of nausea overtake you. You feel like a blister or like a wound just rip open on your face or on your arms that had long been healed. And you feel just like this wave of discomfort roll over top of you. Where does that put you in terms of your corruption?
is that temporary or permanent corruption?
It's temporary for this.
Oh,
Temporary
okay.
5.
Okay. What is your... gotcha. Let me pull you up. So...
The threshold is 5,
threshold-
and that's 4.
Okay. Well, no, he has 5. So he currently has 5. Okay, so when you hit your threshold, so when your total corruption hits your threshold, because I think you had 5. 5 is your threshold, and you have 5, correct?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. You receive a temporary stigma, and you can choose this if you want to look in the PDF. It's page 176. So it's just basically something that kind of starts to grow or show on you. It could be however you want to sort of describe it. But that begins to grow. And then, let's see, what else? And then at the end of the scene, this is the way we're going to play it. At the end of the scene, you're going to have 1d4's worth of permanent corruption. So what you have is some of that is going to convert to permanent. So I'll ask you, Jinzo, what do you think? What do you think begins to sort of like grow or change about you? What kind of stigma begins to form as you just take a few steps onto this island?
Probably an old scar that opens up along my arm.
Okay. So to give you some examples, it could be like a festering wound that doesn't heal. So that's what it kind of sounds like. Maybe an old wound suddenly opens and just doesn't seem to want to heal, and you feel it. You feel a little bit of pain as it does, and you again hear her voice, and she says, and as she speaks, like you can kind of understand her. It's not like it's a completely different language. And so same with Atolia, you've been around enough barbarians to kind of be able to glean a little bit of the tongue, but you can definitely sense as she's talking to you, she wants you to go. And you can see like her face is getting threatening. And not only that, but you see her hand reach out and touch one of these crystals. And as she does, her eyes kind of roll back into the backs of her, and so you can just see whites, and you can hear her under her breath, like she's kind of chanting something. What do you do?
Wait and see if the rest of them are following me.
Marina follows
Jinzo,
you.
I think, no, please come back now.
Yeah, Marina followed.
Okay,
Right.
Reina, you step onto the island after Jinzo. So, you're wet from the waist down or so, and I need you too to roll a resolute test as this corrupted node of power begins to affect you as well.
2 under 11.
Nice.
Okay. You are keeping it under control, but when you look over at Jinzo, you do see that on his arm there is a wound that previously you had probably seen as a scar, and it's just kind of dripping blood and pus. So in addition to like the water dripping onto the ground of the island, you also see this wound as well. And her voice gets a little deeper. You leave. Both. Go.
And so Rowena wants to, so with her lore master, she can do a bit of sort of understanding other languages if they're considered to be like human languages. It's kind of a cunning check. And she wants to try to convey the if she can help us, we can stop others from coming because more other than us are coming.
Okay.
So if that would be like a cunning roll, kind of trying to say like, we're just the first of many unless you can help us.
It would really be a persuasive roll since you're doing it, but I will say because you're specifically using like your intelligence, you can take like an extra bonus. We'll say take a +2. We'll say.
Okay. Oh crap! That's a 19.
Okay.
Over 12.
Ooh.
Something seems to get lost in translation as you hear her just, no, my island, no more, no. And she gets extremely angry. You can tell though, like, it's like she missed your proposition. Like she just was focusing on the idea of like other people. And once more, like her hand is like on this crystal. And you can see there's this very faint glow. And you can see that the glow is right where she's pressing her hand. And it almost like she's channeling something into her arm a bit. But as she does so, like you can tell like her presence, she starts to grow a little bit taller. Like you can see like her back kind of straightens a bit. There's something about this place, Rowena, that you think she's sort of channeling, almost like invigorating or empowering her. So the two of you are across. What are the other three doing?
I wasn't expecting them to go on the island.
I do think that it would be good to get Gideon out there to maybe try speaking the language at her.
Hey, look, do you know why the hell there were shadow creatures going up to the surface? I don't want to be here. You don't want me here. What the hell is going on with that? It's just very blunt.
Who was that directed to?
To Bayala.
Okay.
Because the initial idea was like to stand at the water, like close enough to call out, but not be on her island pissing her off.
Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it's not. You gotta have to go across. Like it doesn't seem like she's paying attention to anybody unless you're.
Okay.
Like, her only focus is this island.
Okay.
And you guys have been making a lot of noise, and and it's no doubt she's heard you and hasn't cared until someone stepped on the island.
All right, I'll walk up. I'll succeed by 7.
Nice.
Resolute.
I don't want to be here. You don't want me here. I hate everything I've seen on the path here. Why don't you tell me what you hate? I know you hate having people here. Why do you hate having people here? What brought you here?
And she kind of looks at you and she focuses specifically on Gwydion. She kind of starts to sniff.
You. What clan are you of?
Is it Yadesna? Is that how you say it?
It's Yadessa, yeah, or the Yeeds.
Yadessa.
Yeah, Yadessa. Yeah.
I'm from Clan Yadessa, near the forest edge.
This is not a forest.
It's not.
I am Bayela. I and my people are the last of Jizola. This is ours, not yours, not.
And her face turns in the direction of like Jinzo and Rowena. And you can see like she's got like little pustules that have popped open in the time in which you've talked that are starting to leak.
Not the Ambrian.
No, they don't deserve this place. I agree. They don't deserve shit. But you know what people do deserve is for any song or story that you want carried forth so that people remember you. That's something that we can do.
These two. That one.
She eyes Jinzo.
That one has to look. He wants to slay me.
Well, you intimidate him.
It will not go well for him.
Her voice just like undulates and like crackles, like it's this roller coaster of tonnage.
Right. Well, and he's scared of you. He's got good reason to be scared. That makes sense. But we came here to understand why dark shadow creatures with, their flesh shifting and things like that came up to the surface. And they killed Ambrian and clansfolk alike. They didn't seem to care who was from where. You seem like you care.
They are me, and I am they. We are all that remains. When the earth opened, we were 500 souls strong. Mostly children and the elderly. Eleanor led them to enact some taste of vengeance. And now Eleanor leads them away to find a new home.
Do you know where?
Don't know. I stayed. This is my place.
And she like gestures at the crystal isle around you.
Okay. I'll convey if most of that's been in barbarian.
Yeah, again, it's like the way I'm envisioning language is like it's like you everyone can kind of sort of semi speak it. It's just a little like the dialect can be so thick and that like you miss maybe the precision of it. That's how I'm envisioning it.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no desire to fight this woman. I honestly don't. If it's worth anything to you, I share your hate. You should be angry. You deserve your anger.
Ask her what else is down here.
Is there anything else down here? A place we could go that wouldn't bother you?
This is my place.
And she just gestures like to the aisles or the cavern. That's it.
The rest is but a grave for my people. They are not here any longer. This is mine. No one will take it from me.
Okay.
If you
I
want to fight, then you leave me. You tell no one.
Ask her why they came up and attacked out of the pit.
Do you know why? Is Eleanor? Do you know? Was it her that led them up and above?
So, Gwydion, you actually would know the name Helianor. I think you would. Rowena, you probably would as a lore master as well. Helianor was the daughter of Chieftain Halaban. Halaban was the last chieftain of Clan Jazora who was executed 11 years ago. Helianor was one of his daughters, and it sounds like one of his daughters survived and has been sort of leading this, whatever this is now. So
the yell back to Madjac will be revenge for killing her father.
Yeah, I got it. But I mean, are they going to come? Are they going to do it again? Where the hell are they?
Sounds like they're looking for a new home. Where that means they're going, I don't know.
On the surface or somewhere else down here? I mean, we got to report back or we're not going to get paid.
I mean, they went up.
But did all of them go up?
Didn't we get some report of like a strange lady It's on something that we'd heard up top.
Yeah, so that was like in the immediate aftermath. Like there was, there was like some scattering that was happening. Yeah, there was like a vision of like a woman with wings almost.
Yeah, I'll describe what I heard. Is that Eleanor with wings? Is that her form
You see
now?
her mouth like grow wide.
Yes.
Okay.
But Eleanor never liked me. I don't know why. Where she is now, I do not know. And there is no one left here but me and my friends.
All right.
Is that
Key
a
on
lot
that
of
one.
friends
Key
or
on that
just a
one.
couple friends? Just a couple friends left?
Would you like to meet them?
Are they going to kill us?
If I tell them to.
We don't need to be killing
Come
each
to
other.
me, my friends.
And you see every light in the cavern flickers off and it just becomes black for a moment. And then when it flickers back on, surrounding the island and on the edge around the peninsula, you see kind of hovering right on the surface, you see these spiritual forms. And Madjac, you recognize that this is kind of like what you saw swimming in the water. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple dozen of them. And they are blocking every path. Like they're next to those of you on the peninsula. They're next to those of you on the island itself. But they are currently just standing still effectively. You can see them shimmer a bit, like they have some sort of spiritual form, perhaps.
These are my friends.
Hey, Iron Eye.
Yes.
Tell her thanks, and we'll be leaving now.
Would you like for me to take any names or prayers back to share at our fires? I hate what happened to you.
I want you to return and tell nothing of this place. Say nothing you found. Nothing. The halls, the tunnels were too corrupt. I want no one to come down here. Swear it to me, ye desert, and I shall let you live. And this one must swear it as well.
And she nods at Jinzo, and you can again see like she sort of almost again innervates herself a little bit. And then she looks at Rowena.
And this one, and the cowards who stand on the peninsula away, they all must swear.
I'm fine with not sending anybody else into this corruption, but
yes,
I can't speak for everyone else.
It is true that many of the passages were unpassable, and yes, that can absolutely be what's in our notes.
You're adamant about staying down here. I swear I'll tell not a soul. But if any of you show up top, let it be known you'll be slain.
You are not the one with power on this island, Ambrian.
And you feel like this coldness behind you as two of these spirits just kind of hover there.
You have much to answer for. Do not threaten me again.
He promised. He promised. You're not planning to go up there, and so
he promised, but he also threatened me. And an Ambrian threat is but a promise for blood.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And she sort of like takes out a book, and not that just Crone would understand her writing, but she's sort of just writing down like all passages were blocked. We're good. We're good. And she like closes the book as if that is going to do something, and we're good, and we will remove ourselves from your island.
I want you all to swear it. I want your blood to drip on the island to seal your promise. Only then shall I let you leave.
Blood from my open sword already dripping on the island.
That's fair.
Okay, you're good.
Marina's very nervously fiddling, like she has a dagger that she hardly ever uses. So she's like fiddling through sort of her belt and pouches, and almost like in the process of trying to find the dagger, sort of like cuts her hand with it as she's sort of like nervously like pulling it out, and then yeah, and she kind of takes her palm that she cut and sort of like puts her hand down on the island, so there's like no question that her blood is going down there, and she just sort of looks back up to the crone, like waiting to be able to like remove her bloody hand from the island.
You watch as one of these spirits kind of sort of half shambles, half floats and bends down. They are naked, pale. You can see they have like hollow eyes, and they're semi-transparent, and kind of leans down a bit, and then it kind of looks up and it nods at her.
Madjac will take a strip of cloth, cut his hand, coat it in blood, affix it to a point of an arrow, and fire it from where he's standing onto the island. And he goes,
Roll an attack roll though first. Let's see if it hits, because if this is like a bad shot, there are about 30 of these creatures around. Okay, you're good. So you managed to avoid them. Okay, and what is it you say?
I swear, when I return to Thistlehold, that I will not speak of Biella or her glowing friends to anyone above within the city.
And she's like considering for a second, and then she whispers like into her palm, and one of the figures over by the peninsula comes sort of kind of shambling up on top and kind of just stands, and you see in front of you, Madjac, as the head kind of tilts one way to the next, like hollow. I'm not even sure there's actual eyeballs. It's just like these sockets, these dark sockets. And then he just kind of releases back and stands there at attention. What about you, Atolia?
You want me to go to the island. You don't want me to go to the island. You want me to go to the island again. But fine, we'll get back to the island. So Atolia will complain as she walks through the water again towards the island, pulls out her dagger and goes, "You got me word for it, innit?" And she'll just like stab into the palm of her hand and let it drip down. She probably does a little bit of blood stuff as witch magic every now and again.
Okay. Yeah. And again, one of those figures will kind of like come down, inspect. And then Biella will look back up at you all, and she will say,
Leave. None
It's already trying to do that.
will come down. Or I and my friends will come up. Go. Go now, before we change our minds.
I'll cross back.
okay. So you waded through the whole while. Like you've got these figures that are just, sometimes they are spiritual. You can see sometimes they kind of shift and become corporeal or semi-corporeal. And like when they kind of walk along, almost like escorting you a bit here or there. Yeah, Talia.
What's the name of the spell that you're using to hold these guys here? It is quite interesting to me, though. As she walks back across, she'll like kind of call back to the crone.
You just hear her go back to humming at that point.
Oh, well, all right, fine then.
Okay.
If I can't take your story up above, can I have just a moment to say a prayer before I go?
Speak.
And basically he'll do like the equivalent, like what would be like almost like funeral rites, but a very layman's version of it for like the women and children that came down here and died. Because if he's not allowed to bring it up there to the top to share with them, somebody at least should say some rites on their behalf.
So you're the only one up here, I think, at this point. I think Ruina and Jinzo and Atolia all left. Is that correct? She will shamble towards you. And she will like kind of lean down, or if you were you bending or like kneeling to prayer?
Yeah,
or
we get down on his knees.
She will like kind of nest her head like right in your shoulder and just kind of whisper into your ear, and she will say like, and you can feel like this warm spittle kind of fly out.
You are on the wrong side, Yetesa. You will come over soon enough.
And then you feel these dry, old lips press against your cheek as she gives you a very soft, but you can tell is sort of earnest kiss. And then she leans back, standing up, and she's got this crooked, twisted smile on her face.
I thank you for your hospitality. I will take my leave.
Okay. And so you cross. And you guys are on the peninsula now, kind of working your way back. You can see slowly around you, these wraiths, for lack of a better term, are kind of flanking you, following you, saying nothing, just kind of keeping an eye on you. Now, before you guys leave the cavern, was anyone lying?
Madjac is absolutely going to keep to the very letter of his promise.
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
Fully
when I say lying,
interested.
was there anything about her specific, like her specific terms that she had sent forward that tell no one of this place, no one can come down here? Was there anything of that?
Oh yeah. Madjac was for sure gonna get outside of town, take those guys out, and just give them a whole debriefing and tell them to firebomb out of the entire place.
Okay.
Marina was being earnest, and what she wrote down would be what she was planning to tell. So she was not planning to share this information.
This hag wasn't paying Madjac, so he was not going to tell anybody inside the town. That's for sure.
Okay. Madjac, as you are wading across and onto the peninsula, I need you to roll a... You can roll persuasive. It'll be -3 on that as you do so.
Do we have any audience bits? Can I get at least maybe one?
I believe we are not out.
Okay. Woo. Got it. With a margin of 7.
Okay. All right. And so as you guys depart from the cavern, you are able to leave. And you find yourselves back in the tunnels away from the lake. You see that the wraiths kind of follow you for a little bit into the tunnels, but eventually you can see they stop. And you find yourselves kind of getting escorted from a distance from behind. And eventually you find yourselves back in that hall of rubble where you can see the sinkhole opening was. It's not that far away. One of the other paths out of that giant pile of rubble seemed to lead over back to that lake. And you see they just kind of wait there and linger and watch. What do you guys do?
Well, I don't know why they don't just collapse the tunnel then, if they don't want anyone in here.
Because they want to be able to get out whenever they want to get out.
Well, we could just collapse the tunnel then.
Not sure if we want to do that. Maybe we just, let everything lie for now.
That's fair.
I don't know what they can do, and I definitely don't want to try to shoot arrows through ghosts. But
Well, it sounds like the ones that did the damage in Thistlehold are no longer here, and they've gone elsewhere. And our task would be to present that information, and maybe there is somewhere else that we should follow.
Yep. We didn't agree not to speak about her, or the fact that she's leading them to a new home.
yeah,
Talking about that's not against our promise.
Yep, definitely. We do not break our word as spoken.
No,
Definitely
absolutely
not down here. So I didn't see any other way out of this barracks area, this living area. So unless you all find one, I think we just have to retrace our steps back to the pit.
Oh, we definitely should make sure we grab that, was it a brass sign on our way back up? So that's a good bit of money there.
Yeah. You tie it off and pull it up.
Yes, and so Rowena's sort of like got her book back out, and she's just sort of like making notes of sort of the story as she's thinking that we should present the story. And so she's sort of taking notes that there were residences. The residents all appeared to be emptied. There are various dangerous creatures down here, but it appears that the individuals that were staying here have departed. And so she's just sort of like creating the story and kind of the narrative that covers most of this information, and kind of trying to just say all of that out loud while we're still down here, and kind of writing that.
Yeah.
Accidentally kicking Jinzo in the heels as she's walking occasionally, because she's writing and walking at the same time.
You can try reporting that, you've got the feeling that they left here to go search for someplace else. I don't know how you're going to be able to mention their leader's name without being able to share how you learned that name. Just something be...
Don't worry about that. I got that covered. We'll talk about that when we get up top, though.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
that
just
makes me
something I don't
nervous.
know how to do. I would screw it up.
We should definitely mention that there's just like a corrupt aura in this area, so the people shouldn't come down here for that anyway. I think we got lucky on
That-
not.
It's not gonna
Well,
lie.
other than Jinzo.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. It's
other than Jinzo.
very. You might want to get that looked at. That looks,
no, actually, Jinzo,
pleasant.
you want to hide that for a little while there, bud.
I'll bandage it for now, but I feel a shadow down here festering.
Because you ought to know. Is this your first time getting a bit of corruption too much?
It is.
Okay, well, mate, the people up there don't much like it, and if they see that, they're going to think you're permanently corrupt and close to being an abomination. So you got to watch out for that. Just
I'm
try to
familiar
hide
with
it.
that.
Yeah, well, probably from the other side.
Okay, so is everyone climbing up then? Is that the idea? We're climbing back up? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we're grabbing whatever that brass sign
brass
was that
sign.
they had left
Yeah,
on the way
not a problem.
down.
Yep, it's still where it's the I think it was the sign for the Fern.
It was.
The tavern. Okay, so then everyone go ahead and we'll do a vigilant test as you're essentially climbing up. You're looking for your you have a rope that's assisting you, but you're also kind of looking for where to put your feet as you're climbing up as well, so they don't slip and fall.
I'm going to take my armor off again while I go up.
Okay, that's great.
Hey.
Because if you fall
Learned.
and you take fall damage, you won't have armor to.
But I have a better chance of
That's fair.
passing that action.
The vigilant or the because taking the armor off it'll affect your quick. Quick is only if you fall though.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'm going to
Just
fall.
presuming you're gonna fall. Okay. All right. What's the order? Who goes up first?
Probably Madjac would go up first.
Okay. And then who follows Madjac? That's why I get this down in case someone falls. Jinzo. Okay. After Jinzo.
They're going first. I might go last to help
Rowena?
anybody that does come tumbling down
Okay.
if that were to happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'll go after Rowena.
And Gwydion, bring it up. And who is taking that big old metal sign? Who's carrying that sucker?
I thought if we tie a rope to it and bring that rope up, can we drag it up from the other side?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, that works. Okay, so like it'll kind of tail on Gwydion as he's coming up. Perfect.
Yep.
All right, so everyone go ahead and just give me that vigilant test. It's vigilant +3. So as you climb back up.
Oh, thank God.
Let me double
So
check.
just look at your margins. If your margin's within 3, if you had already rolled, that's fine.
So, as in it's harder or easier? Sorry.
Easier.
Plus is always
thank
easier.
goodness.
Minus is harder. Okay. Anybody fail?
Failed it by
succeeded
4.
then.
See, the 3 was not quite enough.
Not enough. Just give me a quick. As
Okay.
maybe it's because the extra weight of that kind of that bronze sign, and maybe
Tie a
once or
rope
twice
to
it
it. Just
clanks.
carry it up. It's not like you still have to put it on your back and awkward as hell. That's fine.
Okay. Wouldn't be the first time you fell down the sinkhole too.
I know.
All right. Let
So
me know.
close to a 1. Nice.
All right. You fall a bit, but you're able, as you nearly tumble and you nearly go the rest of the way, but you quickly like get your foot out and you kind of slow yourself, and then you grab the rope a bit and it keeps you sturdy. And you can see that it looks like the sign's about to tumble as well, but as you're with your right hand holding onto the rope, you reach down, you kind of steady, and you see like the rope kind of frays a little bit, and you're able to catch it. And all of you, over the next, 15, 20 minutes or so, climb back up. It is a lengthy climb. It's a lot taking longer to go up than it does to go down. When you all get up, you realize that it is nighttime. That you left mid to late morning, and you have been basically down in these caverns all day, all afternoon, and into the evening. You don't know exactly how late, but when you get up there, you can see flanking around the sinkhole. There are still people on the streets here and there, but mostly you see the barricades, you see the town watch. You can see there's 2 people here and there of these various blockades. You can see there's a handful of folks that are passing by, not getting too close to the barricades. So you can see that it's still early enough in the evening that people haven't fully retreated. Madjac, you're the first up, and you hear, as you start climbing over the top, you hear a voice like, "Oh, there!" And you look up, and you can see that there is like kind of an arrow pointed at you by one of the town guards, and you can see there's another man who's speaking. Oh. He looks down at you really quick as the light from maybe the lantern he's holding is kind of shading down onto your face. I need you to roll Madjac. What is it? I think it's discreet. As the light is kind of flickering off your eyes a bit, and he is kind of looking right as your head pops up. They're all very on edge about. Things coming out of the sinkhole. So give me a, I think it's discreet because it's for your boon, or excuse me, your burden.
Yep, Chikara eyes. Yep. Just flat.
Sure, I was just checking. Yeah, I think it's just -2. Excuse me. I'm sorry, -2 because it's modified by their vigilance.
This is going to go bad, guys. Be ready.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
So you can see as you start to pop up the edge, and your head's popping out. They're like, hold. And then the light flashes right in your eyes, and you hear some, another one, invasion again. And someone starts like hacking at the rope. What do you do, Madjac?
No.
Because they start hacking into the rope.
Because we're the party you friend has sent down. It's my magic mask, for God's sake.
Roll a persuasive test, and you can roll this one flat. As they start hacking away at the rope that you're climbing up.
Son of a biscuit eater.
Oh no.
No.
And then the last of the swing cuts through the rope, and all of you go falling. Everyone make a quick test as you fall.
Amazing.
Go really bad.
Yeah. It's those burdens, man. Them burdens. Yep. Okay.
I rolled 20.
Oh God, man, you don't understand. This is a roll under game. You want to roll low. You don't want to roll natural 20s along. Those are bad. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So who failed?
Oh, I failed bad.
All right. So 3 of you failed. So I think Atolia failed, and Madjac failed, and Jinzo failed. And Gwydion and Rowena, you managed, despite the fact that the rope kind of breaks at that point, you reach out and you grab on to a chunk of the rubble jutting out from the sides of the sinkhole, and you manage to kind of keep yourselves in place. The other 3, however, you all fall, and as you're kind of falling, you kind of nearly bump into Gwydion here or there. Now, the good news is that it's a slope, so it's not like you fall all the way back down, much like Gwydion when he fell down the night that Anadea was killed. You all do fall a bit. So you're going to each take some damage. If you have armor, if you are wearing your armor, sorry, Atola, if you are wearing your armor, it will mitigate. Each of you roll a d12. Those of you that fell. Okay.
Cool, 1.
That's good. Okay. So because of the slope, you guys are all going to fall. Normally you would take that amount of damage, but in this case it's going to be -3 because of the slope. So Jinzo, you end up just tumbling, and you kind of grab onto something. You don't really take any serious damage. Atolia, you slip, you fall, you tumble, and you'll take 2 points of damage. And then Madjac, you'll take 6, but if you're wearing armor, you can go ahead and roll your armor to mitigate that 6.
Why did that?
Almost
roll?
imagining.
Oh, sorry.
that,
Yeah,
sorry.
you don't have to roll defense. Yeah, you just have to roll the armor die.
Almost imagining the Jinzo
I was
like
gonna roll a d4.
rolled and somehow
Gotcha.
like grabbed onto the
Two.
brass
Go for
sign. that
Makes sense a little
Gwydion had
bit.
tied to him.
Madjac falls a really long way, like you're kind of reaching out trying to grab, and then just it was too late. You just go falling all the way down, and you smack down on this ledge sticking out. So go ahead and you'll take. So Madjac will take 4, Atolia 2, Jinzo none, and all of you are now gripping onto the sides, and you hear the sounds of people shouting, "Invasion again! To the sinkhole!" All of you, you can tell me what you want to do. Do you want to shout up? Anyone shouting up? Anyone climbing up? What are you doing?
Madjac will shout back up again. Idiots! We are the team that you Frenda sent down here to make sure the invasion didn't happen again. It would be really great if we got the opportunity to actually report on it without you killing us.
Ordo Magica. I'm Ordo Magica. He speaks truth. He speaks truth.
Okay. Anybody
You're
else
all
shouting up
fucking
anything?
idiots, and I fucking hate you.
We were doing positive, and then now no. Okay. So anyone, whoever wants to. So Madjac, you can give me with Rowena shouting Ordo Magica. Madjac, give me a persuasive. Give me +2 as you shout up, like your back kind of cracked on this big chunk of rock.
That's better. Margin of 10.
Whose name did you say sent you?
You Frenda!
Master
We came down here this morning.
I was not on shift this morning. Apologies. One moment.
And you hear like some scrambling up top. Some of you who are still very close to the top, so like Gwydion and Rain, those who didn't fall, you can kind of hear like,
Do we have any rope? Get some rope. I don't know. Oh God, I think we just killed a few of them. Auto Magic is gonna be so upset with us. Oh good. Should we just let them die? That's a good idea.
and you just hear that,
No, we can't do that. That's terrible.
and all of a sudden the rope comes down, and you can see it flops down, and you all can climb the rest of the way up, having like smashed around a bit. Some of you are now busted. You can see like bruises and cuts and things, but you get
actually-
up and there's.
By the time Madjac gets to the top, he looks fine.
He does, yeah. Okay. And so you come up, you've kind of healed a bit, and he's like, I beg your pardon. He comes up to Rowena, who has like clear robes of an Ordo Magica, like adept.
Very, very sorry, madam. We are on very strict orders not to. Your friend.
Your job is to guard, and you were guarding, and that is what you did.
They're
Yes,
fucking
exactly.
idiots, is what they are. And they're
They
terrible
were-
at their
they
fucking
were-
jobs.
Imagine if it was
What
another
did you
round.
just
There's
say
not
to
going.
me?
There's not
You're
going to be another
fucking
round.
terrible at your
We're-
fucking job.
Put her in shackles this instant.
And they come over to put you in shackles, Atolia. And they put you in shackles.
Please,
And
everyone,
See ya.
she'll go
everyone.
unnoticeable
Everyone.
and taking off running.
She
Yeah.
just took a
Everyone.
fall and hit her head because she cut the rope. Cut her some slack.
Cut her some
We're
slack.
just.
Do you know any
we've been-
people died in this city yesterday?
I do.
Sir,
I can show you. This guy got a stab
we are
wound
guarding.
here. A stab
do you
wound
think
here.
this is
Yes.
a joke? Do you
You're
think
guarding.
a giant...
Yes.
Listen! Stop talking! There is a giant hole in this city. There are 2 blocks of this city gone, and it has been not even 2 days. And your friend climbs up with the eyes of a Jakar. And you tell me that we are fucking idiots. Well then,
Just. Wait.
let me see your pass for entering this city, young one.
Yes. Wait. Here's the orders. Here's the orders. And,
No.
And Rowena just.
I want to see her pass. Not yours, Ordo. This one's. Produce it now, or we call you trespasser.
Do I actually have a pass to
You
enter this
don't.
city?
You live in Blackmore.
No. All right, cool. I'm gonna go unnoticeable and disappear.
Oh,
Uh,
It's too late for
no.
that. No, you're not. It's too late for that. You're flanked on either side by guards. They have hands on you. They have, like,
yeah.
and you
Oh,
can see they're
Mom's
putting
gonna
her in
kill me.
shackles. Oh,
Yeah,
you
did not
sir.
die
Yes.
here to be such insulted.
No.
Yeah,
Report
sir.
this to Captain Marvel.
Sir, absolutely. Hey, how can we? She had a very rough time down there. She was doing her best to help protect the town, and she hit her head on the way down. Listen, we pulled up this amazing brass sign. How about we donate it to the Watch to help you and your men and your families recover after this, after your incredible defense of the town? And you let us take her back and clean her up and get her in her right mind. And I guarantee you, she is not going to ever belittle the incredible efforts that the men of the Watch have made again.
He thinks about this. They all kind of look at each other. They look down at your sign.
That would fetch a pretty penny, it would. That would go a long way in helping to support some of the families of the Watch who died.
Indeed.
And he turns back over to Atolia.
Your tongue is quick and cruel. You seem to have forgotten that this town suffered a terrible tragedy yesterday. And you think it fun to laugh and harass, think to make light of our situation. I can tell you this, that many of us died defending this place, defending the likes of you and your compatriots. You might not like all that we do, and we might make mistakes. But you will speak to us with some respect, or you will never be allowed within these walls again. Is that clear?
And Marina almost answers for her. She kind of like steps in front of Atolia and she's like, she understands. She understands.
I want to hear it from her.
And Marina just sort of looks pleading at Atolia and just sort of this like wide-eyed look in her eye. And she's like, you understand, right? You understand. Yes, you understand. It's just sort of this like, please, you understand.
I understand what he wants. Certainly.
She understands. And Marina just sort of turns around to the guard.
We worked together yesterday or the other day fighting as well with the guards. It's not just one-sided. But yes, I understand.
He looks in really close.
Atolia, to be fair, is very injured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, half of these guys, though, you can see are covered in scars and they're bandaged up. These guys have been like on watch. Like literally 9/11 happened yesterday. So like you're pushing it. You're luckily they didn't throw you back in. But he looks to Madjac And he will accept your generosity, sir, and our apologies for the misunderstanding.
These things happen. You erred on the side of caution, and that's the smart move to make in times like these.
Release her. And like they undo the manacles. You are free to go.
May your watch be safe and quiet.
Good night. And they kind of return at this point to their their various like barricades. And they kind of let you walk away at this point, but you can see they're eyeing you the whole time. One of them picks up and is like looking at the fern sign a bit here and there, kind of turning it around.
Madjac looks down at it.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Madjac looks down at Atolia. I wouldn't wear that face in town ever again, and you owe me a lot of money.
Yeah. I'll swap it around a little bit.
Okay. Anybody who wants to, actually, no, only Atolia and Madjac, probably. Atolia and Madjac, both you roll vigilant tests as you're walking away from the rubble, kind of getting onto one of the alleyways, that kind of stuff, and walking away from the giant hole in the ground.
Success, okay. Margin of 12.
Both of you see it at the corner, as maybe it says Madjac, you say it to her, and Atolia, you say it back. You kind of look up and you see down, like, not down an alleyway, but you can see it once probably was, but the buildings themselves are kind of rubbled, and you can see there's like this half wall. And a lot of the brick and stuff has kind of fallen over. And you see a familiar flash of red. As you see, there is a woman there in her 30s, maybe. And you can see this kind of flash of red hair that the two of you saw out in the forest near the witches' camp, but got interrupted by the Queen's Rangers. The two of you can see she's just sort of leaning there, and she's staring at all of you. She has this very intense expression on her face, and you can see she just sort of shakes her head and starts to walk away.
Now, is she the changeling wearing the face of the woman that died, or is this actually
this is the woman from the woods that we were
chasing? This is the woman from the woods. And I think, Madjac, you recognized her because she is
that's right.
a known treasure hunter named Lysindra Goldengrasp.
Yep.
But you can see she was watching you, shook her head, and just sort of turned away.
As she turns away, I yell out, Lysindra, do you have a moment?
She'll stop in her tracks. She'll turn back around. And she'll look at all of you, kind of like assessing. You can tell, like, each one of you gets like a really hard look from her. And she says, I'm sorry. I must get home. There are dangers everywhere these days. She gives you a curt nod, and then she turns back and starts walking in the direction she was going. And you can see she's going like eastward, like kind of eastward and away from the sinkhole itself. Madjac, I'll give it to you. Give me a cunning test to see if you... She's a well-known figure. She's like the equivalent of like a celebrity is pushing it probably, but kind of in that sort of idea, like a well-known hunter. But give me a cunning test to see if you remember anything more.
Nope.
Yeah,
I do not.
Okay, you just know who she is. You know she's an extremely successful fortune hunter. Made a lot of money trying to, like with these very well planned, well thought out expeditions, and then kind of just stopped doing it relatively recently. And she lives in Thistlehold somewhere, but you're not sure exactly where. But you see her just kind of walking away down one of the roads. And Atolia, you see it too.
We're going to have to look her up. I think she knows more about what's going on than we do. But maybe for tomorrow.
She does seem to be following us, but yeah, not for now. Spit some blood on the ground.
The guards come running back. Quit littering! And they throw barnacles on you. And they drag you.
It's like, wow, we tried to save her. I got nothing else to give.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Ouch.
So it's late. It's nighttime. The sun's not out. You have returned. You're on the streets. You're what do you guys do? Where do you guys go?
Rowena, should we report tonight? Or should we do it in the morning? These are your people.
I would imagine that time is of the essence. They would appreciate a swift report if we have one.
Lead on.
And she'll make sure that we're in sort of a quiet place where others kind of aren't here to hear us. And she's kind of looks to the group and just says, Gwydion, did I gathered that you were not looking to add extra details to our reports. Or did I understand that correctly?
I'm not saying shit.
Let me be clear. I'm in this to get paid, so I'm going to tell you, Frenda, if he wants to hear the full story, he can walk outside of the Palisades with me, outside of Thistlehold, and I'm going to tell him every goddamn thing we saw and did down there.
So she,
Yeah.
my thought was that
She looked like a man to me. By God, ugliest woman I've ever seen.
It's right there in the name, Mr. Eufrenda.
It's Master Eufrenda, but
that makes sense.
Okay. But so I was thinking as we came up that this could be information that we keep to pull out at a later date. So we have information to share this time.
You mean after she decides to come out and kill a whole bunch of people?
I don't believe she will. I believe that she was earnest, that they are there. She has no desire to leave, and those that were still there have no desire to be part of the attack, or they would have been part of the attack and increased their numbers and caused even greater destruction on the way out. I believe that our path should take us to wherever, I forget her name, Gwydion, but the one that you mentioned.
Yeah, I think she made it clear she didn't want any more to come down there and gain corruption. And the one who did leave and create all this mess was someone that did not care for her. So it sounds like they're of differing minds.
Yes, exactly. They're not co-conspirators in this. It does not seem. And then if at some point we were to strike out and not get information down the road, and we need something to have in our back pocket to share, this could be that thing maybe down the road. If we stall on something and have
we share it with the leaders of Thistlehold that we withheld information that they paid for.
No.
I don't think that's going to go well.
No. It can be something that we find later at some other time when it's beneficial to us. If we put all of our information out right now, we don't have anything in our back pocket for later. And I don't see the benefit. And I prefer to keep my word.
Well, I prefer to keep my word too. So I'll just tell Master Eufrenda, who is a woman, as far as you tell me. I will let you report, and as long as she doesn't ask me any direct questions, I won't invite her outside of town to debrief her. How's that sound?
I think is everyone else in agreement with that? And she sort of looks over to Jinzo. Is this acceptable to you?
See your reports, Doozy, please.
I will tell you this. If it comes back and bites my reputation or costs me Thaler, we're going to have a very serious discussion about things. Fair?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And Atolia?
I got no interest in bringing more people down there.
And the level of corruption down there is just untenable for anyone else to be going down there. It would be very dangerous, and we are being honest in that.
Like I said, she doesn't ask me any direct questions. We're good.
Okay. And so Rowena will sort of lead the way and see if they will take an audience with us at this late hour.
So you head down to the tower. All of you have been there, I think. Actually, no, wait. It was only Madjac and Rowena last time, but I would imagine Atolia and Gwydion and Jinzo, you've probably
passed by. At some point, they had to show up to sign papers or something.
No, thank you. I totally forgot about that part.
Yeah, they did make us go to the tower.
Yeah. They're very litigious, is how I say. So when you get there, you are greeted first by like one of your fellow adepts, like Ganderald, who you know is like a kind of elvish features, and he's very obsessed with elves, and like he kind of he's sort of very excited to hear what you have, but he'll run off and he'll notify Euphrenda, and it's a little bit of time, so it's maybe like 20-30 minutes before you're eventually brought into her study. And you can see it's the same place that you had your meeting before, Madjac or Rowena. Rowena, you're extraordinarily familiar with it. Jinzo, are you accompanying them?
Yeah, I'll follow them for now.
Okay, fair enough. And so you're led inside, and you can see there's a kind of a large desk. There's shelves galore with books and tomes and various other trinkets and things. You can see that there is a couch off to the side on which you can see sits that leathery old man that you saw at the sinkhole as well, who you know, Rowena and the rest of you would know his name by now, Kulinan Furia. He's like a very ancient, he looks extremely old, but somehow he's still upright. And he's sitting there, and you can see he's got like a tome opened up in his lap, and he is sort of reading it. You get the sense that he's kind of not paying attention to you as you come in. You can see that your friend is there. She's in her normal dress. It doesn't look like you interrupted her when she was sleeping. And you can see they've uncorked a bottle of wine and such. And she looks up, and I totally forgot that I had to do Baela's voice and Euphrenta's voice in the same night. So this is going to hurt tomorrow.
Oh gosh.
So she looks up. Oh my God. Okay. And she's like,
Welcome back. Good to see all of you have made it out in one piece. And look, more pieces than when you went down.
and she looks over at Jinzo, who is hiding behind a houseplant.
So, what did you find down there, Adept?
Yes. And so she'll be highly detailed, kind of about, almost sort of like a room to room, like this is what we found. And she, as especially with Master Euphrenda, is always attempting to curry some level of acceptance and appreciation, will definitely mention how her life was in danger and like those pieces of the story along the way. Will include the symbology with the bowl and like all of those pieces, like that will be part of the story. And basically leaving just the last room out of, kind of like, we went a different passageway and it looked like they were caved in, and it just felt like there was so much corruption there, and that it seemed as if everyone that had been there was, gone.
So you mention the pottery and the things that you find, and do you mention Clan Jazora, or do you just say this is what you find?
Yeah, like literally, like it's as if we did everything except up to the last room. So like all of the teeth and the bone and the symbols and all of that will definitely get mentioned.
Okay. So she'll turn to Gwydion.
You, barbarian, you concur with this finding? You think you found pieces of the Jezites?
Maybe. I don't. Nobody talks about them where I'm from. And it would make sense. I mean, you did build your town on top of them. That is what it is.
Oh, it's not my town. I'm just here visiting. It is
For a very
some of
long
yours,
time.
town.
A whole lot of you.
But I understand. So, Jazora, the Beast Clan. How very interesting. I heard stories. More than stories, really, that the chieftain's daughter led some into the tunnels and tried to escape, but I think the church and some others, the Queen's Rangers and such, went searching. Could never quite find anything, though. Corruption, sure, cave-ins and the like, but Never anything living. So either they're very poor at their jobs, or they're keeping something from even us.
And you hear like a little chuckle coming out of like Kulan, like sitting on the couch.
So, the tunnels are empty. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Madjac does not even look at her. He's looking at the wall. He's just like, nice room.
And so she'll say,
I suppose Mayor Night Pitch will want to send some of his architects and builders down to properly reinforce the streets in the city. Do you think this would be a problem?
There's spots down there where there's this, I don't know the word for it, but it's almost like if there could be flakes of corruption just floating in the air, then you don't know it's on you until you're right in it. It's a foul place to be. I'm not saying I
Quite
give a
foul.
crap about any of his architects, but there's a good chance they
Quite
die if
foul.
they go down there.
Quite foul. Yes, indeed, and unexpected.
Well, if that is all, then it seems you have done a very thorough job. Anything else? Any other discoveries? This little mystery of ours.
Madjac's guts are just churning. He hates to leave a job half done. It just pisses him off.
so hard at Rowena. And so did you tell, so you told her about the Beast Clan, you told her about the flakes of whatever, you told her about the Birans, the cave rays, all that kind of stuff. What about things like Anadea, like the body? What about the magnet, the little pieces of bone teeth and things with the cuneiform symbols, the mushrooms you collected, the little alchemy lab with the broken equipment, the coins and all those things? How much of this do you divulge?
All
as well?
of that.
Yeah, we promised to turn all that
of that
stuff
we
over.
Okay. So you just kind of start unloading
mushrooms.
everything.
Oh, some of these
Demon
are
stone.
an excellent varietal.
She kind of like when Atolia, when you say like mushrooms, like she kind of looks over at you and raises an eyebrow.
A purveyor, are you?
Yeah, I do like a little bit of sort of looking for things in the wild.
You have the smell of it. Yeah, you can keep these. Finders, keepers, as they say.
Yes.
She picks up the demon stone. Is that what you're calling it?
Marina will do as she has been every time the stone comes out, is that she'll she'll pick it up and like
Now, very curious, very curious. What an interesting contraption.
Finders keepers does not always need to apply. I think this clearly needs to be donated to you.
You see like the wickedest grin come over her face.
Oh no, these demon stones, my dear barbarian friend, once they are found, they are attached, you see. If you don't carry this with you for the rest of your days, if you spend even an hour away from it, your soul will detach from your physical body and it will seek it out, and you will be nothing but an undead husk. Is that what you want?
You're growing dangerously close to liking you. That was funny.
No. This is a very interesting contraption. Yes, it is, but I see no reason that you can't keep it, barbarian.
And she throws it over at Gwydion so it clinks to your...
Why?
Pinpoint accuracy.
And Marina is trying to remain professional, but she's like stifling like this sort of grin at kind of Euphrinda being almost playful with this. And she will also, because she is making the presence as if she's being very thorough. And we used that stone in the water to collect some coins. Should we give you an accounting of the coins that we found in the water with that stone. We picked it up and.
Well, they are Ordo Magical's coins, are they not? As contractually decided.
Here we go. And so she'll kind of turn over her portion of the thaler and everything that kind of was gathered.
Well, these have an older mintage to them. Seems as though someone has been down there. Well, not recently. What about these?
And she spreads like on her gigantic desk, like all of those little like bone teeth.
These are very interesting. These I might have an interest in. Yes, I think these could be These would be an excellent addition to Ordo's collection. Rowena, well done. And do not worry, you can assist in the study of them.
Thank you. I am grateful for the opportunity.
And she starts like piecing through some like the broken pottery and like the.
Yes, I can see barbarian. Why you would say Jazora.
She like holds up one of the pieces of pottery. It's got that then.
Yeah, they were such colorful people. Yeah, pity. Well, we have no use for these. I'm sure you could find a place to sell them.
And then she'll look at like, so what do you take from, so the stuff that you took from Anadea, you had the Mind Stone, which was like a golden pearl with like these little engravings on it. You had the note that had the reference to the Halls of Tears. You had a small little sun symbol, and I think those are the three things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So she looks out at you, Rowena, and she's kind of holding up the sun symbol, and she's like,
well, what do you make of this, Adept?
Can I roll Lore Master to?
Sure. We can roll cunning. Yeah.
Roll a cunning.
Roll.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, thank you, 20 size to every story for the read. Appreciate it.
11 under 15.
Okay. You would know that this more than likely suggests that she was a member of some kind of the Sun Church. You're not sure specifically like what her rank or her position would be, but this particular symbol, it's not just a average person symbol. It's not just someone who's like a worshiper. It's somebody who actually worked for the Sun Temple or for the Sun Church. So what do you say to her?
Sun Church. Someone that was in the employ of the Sun Church.
Yes.
Yes.
Well done. You should direct your inquiries there if you continue to search into this young woman. Perhaps one of the fathers, the theologs over there, might have more information about her. Now, this letter, this is very interesting. Ganderald, come here.
And you hear the door like creak open, and you see Ganderald, this adept, same as you, Rowena, maybe a rival, but not an artifact crafter, obsessed with elves. And she like kind of hands this over to him. He takes it and he reads it, and she like looks to you first, Rowena.
And what have you learned from here?
Holding up the
the letter. Come now, Rowena, let's go. Some of us want to get to sleep this evening.
And I failed the cunning roll on that.
Okay.
Unclear. I was hoping for additional study with that.
Ganderald.
And you, yes, master, your friend. Halls of a thousand tears. It's where a place where the elves of the forest convene. Thus spoke Eroaletta, and under moss and roots, under the trails of crawlers and wrigglers, there
are caverns basking in the gloom of the underworld. There thrive implings in the bone pale. There the blight grows on rocky walls in abominable shelves. There the weepers walk in the halls of 1,000 tears, round and round a well, about to overflow. Very good, Gendro, very good.
So he just basically explains a little bit of what Madjac kind of already knew. It is a place, but it is also a place that has no specific, you can't point to it on a map. Like, it's the type of thing where it almost has like a mystical quality to it. And he's like, we've had reports of those who have visited, but never those who could lead anyone back. It's a very, very mystical place. Master, your friend, I'm afraid I don't have any further. That's good, Gendro. Thank you very much. Far better than the other adept. So she just kind of looks at,
Well, there are people within the very walls of Thistlehold who might be able to lend us aid. Our jailer, our mayor, whatever term you want to call him, I'm sure he might have an interesting thought or two. Though he's not the type to talk to those like yourselves, I would imagine. No.
you can tell she's just sort of like kind of grinning because she thinks like he'll talk to her, but not you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then she like turns,
And this Tiana, adept.
so over to the Reina once more.
What does this mean to you?
Oh, I got a 6 under 19.
It's Elvish. You would probably be able to translate it as something to do with the sun, like rays of the sun or something like that.
Yes, ma'am. And she's trying to, kind of get her reputation back after the fail on the last one. And so she's like, yes. Rays of the sun. This one I know. Rays of the sun.
Now,
She looks like at everyone.
you have found a young woman's body in a sinkhole with correspondence with an elvish individual and a reference to a mystical place. Mr. Barbarian, what do you think you'll be doing next?
Oh, I saw her get stabbed and fall into the hole. I want to find out who did that.
Oh, noble. How very noble indeed. And how do you propose to go about doing so?
Spending time with people smarter than me.
You are very good at taking a question asked and pushing it on to someone else. So I turn to the rest of you, Mr. Fortune Hunter. Where do you all head next? Is there profit in searching for this young woman's murderer?
I think there's always profit in getting to the bottom of a mystery. For instance, after you pay me, I'm going to have profit from our last one. But I think after this, we're going to head over to the Church of Prios and we're going to ask some questions about this missing investigator, inspector, adept, whatever she was to them. And then maybe see what they've been having going on with the elves. And if that goes wrong, then he switches to Elvish. Maybe I'll go find some elves to talk to about the rays of the sun.
Ganderol just like turns, very surprised. Oh, what's it? You have a very excellent accent there, sir. That is very fluid. Well done, bravo.
It's a lifetime living with the pointy-eared bastards.
You've lived with them. Oh, goodness. Well, I would very much, if you have any time, I have so many questions I would like.
Now is not the time, Gandalf.
Oh, yes, of course, master. He's like, but we can talk a bit he kind of like motions at you kind of quietly. I'll pay
I'm
you.
expensive, but okay.
Yeah. There's
Nice.
that kind of feel to it. Okay.
You just
And
got
then-
a tidy source of income.
Yeah.
Gotta make money.
It's steady too. Just make stuff up. the whole time,
Madjac
yeah.
side hustle.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
She holds up the, what else did you guys have? Oh, the key. No, there's the Mind Stone, and you guys also found a little key. So she holds up the Mind Stone, and she says, "An adept? What is this?"
Rena thought that she was done with sort of like the quiz, and she's, oh yes, 8 under 15.
8 under 15. I don't understand what that means.
Now you explain what a Mind Stone is.
Yes, this would fetch, what would you say there, Quilnon? 120 thaler at the Antique Plaza. Yes.
And she like takes it, and she kind of like holds it up, and she looks over at like Madjac,
120.
and he's like,
150 if you're at all worthy of haggling and negotiation. Yes.
and then she just puts it in her pocket.
Can't have that out there, can we?
You weaned me, Master, you friend up, but that's fair. That was part of our deal. You get whatever you want from what we brought back.
Well, we send this off to the Antique Plaza. Some noble fool will take it and put it in their ear, and suddenly corruption will flood in, and we will have abominations on the streets and chaos night and day. We can't have that now, can we?
Can't have that.
Of course. Of course.
And you can tell she's got like such a shit-eating grin at doing that. She's just very, very happy to do that.
Tolia will stand a little bit more in front of Jinzo.
and then as she like kind of sees you shifting, and she holds up a key, and she's like,
And this key, what does this tell you?
There's a lock somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I got a 4 under 15, so I definitely succeeded on that roll.
okay.
Yes, a lock. Not a very distinguished key, unfortunately. I imagine there are hundreds of these throughout the city. Yes, but what this does suggest, though, is that your young murder victim, well, she had access to a room, perhaps property, renting, maybe she owned. So if you might find whatever it is that she called home, or wherever it is that she purchased, you might be able to find what this unlocks. Yes.
And Arena will just sort of hold her hand out because it sounds like we should take the key back.
Well, I could give it to you, of course, but I don't think that, well, there's only 2 places in the city where you might find a register of owners and ownership. That would be, well, Night Pitch himself and the Queen's legation. I doubt either would be particularly keen on talking to you. However, I could perhaps, on your behalf, consult with Mayor Night Pitch to see if he might be interested in hearing a bit about your travels beneath the town. And maybe then you might advance a request.
Oh yes, of course. The mayor would not meet with us, but you will speak of what we have done and share whatever information back. And then if we have the key on us, we can open whatever lock presents itself to us while we are in front of it.
Well, if that's the case, I suppose there's nothing left but for us to settle up. Now,
She pulls out like a ledger, and she starts like doing some calculations on it.
this and that, and well, I'm clearly going to have to charge you for the time it's going to take me, the use of my name, likeness, and my influence to get a meeting with the mayor. So that is quite considerable, more than anything that you found. And I did, yes, give over the mushrooms and yes, some of the tea. Yes, no, and you can take this alchemy equipment and the coins themselves, and obviously the demon stone.
So she like reaches underneath the table and she pulls out a bag. She goes to hand it towards, one moment. She pulls out like a coin or two, sets it on and then she tightens it back up and she tosses it over to Madjac. There you are, good sir. There you are.
Madjac weighs it in his hands. What's it feel like?
It feels like 25 thaler.
That's cool. 5 apiece. All right. He looks at her, cocks his head a little bit. He's like, fair play, Master Euphrasia. Fair play.
I think you've made out bandits. Like one single day of work. A few scratches, it seems, but otherwise everyone intact, and there's even more of you now. However, I did not agree to pay that man, whoever he might be.
That's all right. He volunteered his time, and Anatolia already owes me her share anyway, so we'll make out okay.
Suppose.
And Rowena just sees the amount of money as an equivalent of like Euphrenda's like validation. And so she's like, it's like 5 thalers worth of like, she values me. And so like, she's just like, this is great. And she's standing up a little bit taller. Like she's usually, we talked about it in chat, like very stooped with all of her books and everything as she walks, but she's just like standing just slightly, her full like 5'9" frame.
Okay. So at that point,
Now, if there's nothing more, I am very tired. I've had a very, very long and difficult day.
We walk out, and Madjac begrudgingly counts out 5 thalers to everybody, including Jinzo and Atolia. I gotta keep up.
God.
Listen, you gotta keep up your reputation. Do not tell anybody that I gave you an equal share out of this.
Yeah, here's 3 back for getting me out of that hole.
I'll take that.
okay.
Do not worry. Anyone who asks, I will say that you are quite the
Mercenary bastard. Those are the terms I want you to use. Mercenary bastard.
Not a problem.
you are one heck of a mercenary bastard.
That's what I like. And you know what? Screw that bitch. I am not telling her another goddamn thing.
Wait, we aren't even outside yet.
At the same time,
man.
Squidian is actually
Goodness.
hung back a little bit.
Okay. What is Gwydion doing? Is you hang back?
Just take a moment. It's like, you've got the right of my nature. I'm grateful you said some kind things to Rowena. Maybe I didn't have the full understanding of your nature. I'm sorry. And we'll leave it
Mr.
at that.
Barbarian, there's something you need to understand about this place. And about all of Ambria, and I understand as a barbarian you might not be as familiar. Influence, politics, relationships is far, far stronger a weapon than the blades that you now hold on your waist. You might look at me as some heavy-set old woman with a bit of an attitude, but I can tell you that I wield more than just magic. I wield connection. I wield influence. I can get into the ear of the most powerful figures. This is not something that you can do, but stick with me, and I'll make an ambassador out of you yet.
I don't see that happening. I'm just grateful that you were kind to Rowena.
She's a good girl, but she needs... you have to balance positive and negative reinforcement. You cannot be too kind, but you cannot be too negative. Somewhere in between.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that actually. I've got as he starts thinking of like ways to interact with Dismas.
Okay.
So you kind of say, okay, I've got somebody I should use that on. Okay.
Well, report back and let me know how it goes.
Why couldn't you keep the demon stone? Damn it.
As I said, you are soul-bound, my friend. Soul-bound.
And so we'll say that you guys all leave the tower at that point. Romana, you might stay. You might have, or nearby, you might have You might have a room here, and we'll say all of you kind of split off or go wherever it is that you would go, whether it's the Witch and the Familiar or whether you have another place. But we'll call it there for tonight. We'll pick up right there or in the morning or something like that next time around, as you all have successfully made it out of those caverns. Look at that. Without fighting the witch in about 30 race.
That didn't think it was going to go well.
That
So
would've been
the scene is officially over now, right? I can get rid of my
Clear
temporary.
temp.
Clear all the time.
Once you got out of the caves, we were clearing all temp. Yeah.
Do I take permanent because I reached
Yeah,
level?
yeah.
So
On
roll a
D4,
yeah.
Okay.
Roll a d4. So the way we're going to play it is since so roll a d4, and whatever you get here is what you had is how much goes to permanent.
Hey, only one.
Yeah,
all
just
right.
one. There you go. All right.
Very nice.
So your permanent corruption increases by 1. Your stigma will fade as well, because that wasn't a permanent stigma. That was just a temporary stigma. So like over time, probably as you were walking through the streets, it was kind of, closing back up. So, but you're good to go. Okay. All right. So that's it for tonight. Let's go ahead and do some closing plugs and we'll get on out of here. Let's start with Aaron. Aaron, you've been doing some stuff over on Garblag. What's going on?
Yeah, so check us out next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back with Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. Jim's back in the GM seat. I'm playing a slightly insane scryer who likes to play with petrified eyeballs. Things cannot get any weirder than they are, so come check it out. Then on Thursday, come back the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ben is continuing Season 3 of our Modifius Dune playthrough of our own house, House Dargouche.
Fantastic. I think that's about it. So what do we got going on? A couple things. Number one, giveaway. So go to the Discord, the Lollygagging Discord. Go to the giveaway channel. Drop a setting that you like from a game, whether it's a TTRPG, whether it's a novel you read, a video game you played, or something you created yourself. Just drop a setting in there. Talk about it. You'll be entered to win a Norse Foundry giveaway for some dice and dice-related accessories. Other than that, we have some other games coming up tomorrow night. We've got some Delta Green. You can see what happens at the end of our North Carolina chapter and whether anyone makes it out. Saturday, no Call of Cthulhu this week as we are down a couple players. So we won't be around on Saturday, but we will be back on Monday for some Alien, and we will be drawing our winner for our Norse Foundry giveaway that night. And then Tuesday, you can see the 4 of us on the left side of the screen playing some Frontier Scum as we are doing some Acid West stuff. And we might get off the train. I'm pretty sure we're never getting off that train.
Never getting up that
We're
train.
going to move one more
You guys
car.
are still
Just
on
one
that
more
train?
car.
We're
We're
still
still
on
on
the
that
train.
train. I'm still
We're
on
still on
that
the train.
train. I got my
I
horse.
didn't even. Oh my god! Me and Derek didn't even leave the train car we started, and it didn't even feel like we were like wasting a ton of time. We just did
No.
like Aaron's character caught up with us, so he traversed a couple, and then Melissa's like went to the next one and then came back, but like
And
me
almost
Derek-
died.
almost
And
died.
Jeff,
Yeah, pretty much
Oh my
did.
god.
Jeff was giving a body hug to a centaur mule at the
Yeah,
end.
that's. I maintain
I mean, those.
that Steven did not paint the picture that I needed in my head for we had different images in our heads. He
Looks
I
like.
thought
Looks
it was
like.
like BoJack Horseman. I thought it was a man with a mule's head, but it was a centaur.
It was
Which
centaur.
is totally different thing because he said I recognize my mule and I don't check my mule's ass and legs out a lot. So I figured the only way I'd recognize the mule is from his face. So yeah. Anyway, go watch Frontier Scum. It's ridiculous and that's a lot of fun.
I'll have to catch up.
All right. So that's about it. We'll be back in a week with more of this game. Go ahead and check out the YouTube page for all of our other games, including Aaron's Warhammer 40K and My Fragged Empire and a couple other things here and there. We're going to go ahead and raid Insomnia Night RPG. So follow that raid. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Good night.
See ya.
See ya.